All right, so hello everyone. For this Sunday's discussion, let's talk and sip. I will introduce our panelists. In front of me, I have Savannah James. She's a mother of two, graduate of South Carolina State University, go Bulldogs, and works from home as a retention specialist with Verizon Wireless. We also have here Makita Hayward. She's a licensed professional counselor, and she's a mother of two. We have Sade Willis. She's a customer service representative of 10 plus years for Verizon Wireless, a mother of one daughter, Kylie, and a dog named Parker. We also have here April Genfee. She's a graduate of Claflin University, assistant director of financial aid, a recreational specialist at Job Corps, and she's a mother of three. And here we have Chris Williams. He specializes in home interior design. So feel free to get your houses done for a hookup. I don't know, Chris. And I'm Freema, your host. So today's topic is, are first impressions lasting impressions? And I'll start with my opinion because I say no, but I hear a lot of people feel that first impressions, that's who you are. And I just don't agree with that because you just never know. Maybe you just call me at a bad time. It's not fair for someone to say, okay, then if you don't know me, you shouldn't treat me as what you're going through, per se. But I just don't feel like first impressions are lasting impressions. Anybody want to start with their thoughts?
I think it all depends on, like you said, what's going on during the time where you meet them. Basically, it's the time and the place. Sometimes, you might catch somebody at a relaxed stage, or you might catch them at work when they're up, stressed, or whatever. It all depends on when and where.
I agree. It does depend on that. And I would have to say, even with April, like,
Okay.
when I first met April, I was like, Madelle, your sister. But from the years, like, just getting to know her, like, she's so cool, down to earth. Like, now I'm like, hey girl,
Right.
It's all good. So I don't think the first impression is going to be the lasting impression. I don't think I'm going to think like that all the time. Now, if I never get a chance to be with you
that moment
again, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's how I met you.
That's how
So
I
I know
take
that's
that.
what it is.
Okay.
But if I do get a chance to hang with you or be with you going forward, and you show me who you are, and that is the person that I like, then I'll deal with you going forward.
So it's kind of like you give someone a second chance, per se, even if the first one was kind of rocky.
Yep. That's
fair.
just not how we do when we go to a store or we meet people, teachers, anything. So, yeah.
That's true. Anyone else want to chime in?
I think it got a lot to do, like you said, where you meet people at, the energy, you could be in a store, what if it's at a hospital when somebody dying, or what if it's at a house party, or what if it's at church. It just depends on where you at, Me personally, I feel like once I have a little more drink, people see it more friendly and so.
I agree that it's all about. I won't say that my first impression of somebody is my last, because it may not be. It's like kind of like going to a restaurant. You may go to a restaurant, everybody say, "Oh, the food good." You try it out the first time, and the waiter sucks. And you're like, "Should I give it another try?" So if you've already heard a lot of good things about that person, just because you have that one negative experience with them, that, like you all said, it could just be a bad day. It could be,
or it could be the setting.
Yeah, it could be the setting. Like sometimes, if you put a certain person in an environment where they're uncomfortable, they may not act the way they normally act, because now I'm in an uncomfortable environment, so I might not act the way I would normally act. So I think honestly, it's all about where you are, the vibe, the experience. I don't think that just because I meet you one time and you snob at me, I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't like her. And people who
a lot of people do that though, because to be honest, I'm kind of shocked that everyone is in agreement. We didn't hear much from you yet, Marquita, but everyone kind of agree, and I'm kind of shocked because I didn't expect that. Because a lot of people don't give second chances. If I was snobby first time,
Right?
I think you should though.
What I was going to ask y'all was, do you think that opinion came with age, or do you think that's just something you've had? Because all
that's good.
That's
That's good.
question. It definitely came with age.
It came with age.
You act funny, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it definitely came with age, and I never thought of it that way.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Age definitely came with age.
Good question.
That is a good question.
When I was
And-
younger, I'm pretty sure we was.
oh no, you ain't getting a second chance. I don't even want to be around. Matter of fact, who's gonna be there when I get there? Because if so, if such and such there the first time I met her, I don't want to be around her. So yeah, it definitely come with age. That was good, Marquita. And I put questions on the Sip and Talk page, throughout the week, just see, what people's thoughts are and stuff. And one of the questions I put was, can you fall in love at first sight? Is there love at first sight? And someone mentioned that no, because you don't know who you're getting at first. You get what I'm saying? So that made me think about first impressions, because I already knew I wanted to do this topic. And I'm like, so then they're saying, I can't remember the terminology they use, but you're not getting a real person up front. So is that first impression being fake because of the setting that we in or where we at?
Possibly.
It could be.
Possibly.
I think that's very true, especially nowadays in social media and people put on these facades. Like, I think when you meet people, they may be a lot of them, but it's not 100% the real them, because they're trying to impress you and be what they think you like or be what they think you want. But sooner or later, I think people kind of open up and be
Is it
themselves.
okay to be, not necessarily saying someone else, but is it okay not to give exactly who you are in the beginning? Is that okay?
Depends on the setting, because I have different personalities. If you come visit me while I'm being an assistant director, you're going to get professional.
Right.
Okay? If you come visit me while I'm being a recreational specialist, you'll get the front April. But if you come visit me while I'm supposed to be comfortable with friends or family or whatever, I'm going to be me. So I have to have different personalities in order to fit in, because I know I can't be me at work. I wouldn't last long.
That's how, like with us, when working at Verizon, like when we go to work, we're totally different.
Right.
Professional, got a work voice.
Right.
But then in the everyday setting, you might talk to me and be like, okay, that's a different girl from the girl that work at Verizon. It's different.
That's true. That's very true. I just don't know if people will take it as being fake if you're not being who you
Just being
are.
cautious.
Being
Right.
cautious.
I don't think of it as being fake. It just depends on how you met the person. Like I don't think it's
And where you meet them.
fake. Yeah, like to me, more fake. I'm thinking like I'm being someone who I'm not.
Just totally
period.
not.
Just
Right.
totally not. Like you.
Got
like
you.
who are you? Like this is not Savannah. Like.
Or you're just totally different the next time we meet. Like, come on now. Like, this is two different people here.
Like it just really all depends. I think it's just really about being yourself. Being yourself.
And maybe just not open up.
Because even if you are being different than you usually are, you're still being yourself.
Right.
You're still being yourself. Like it's not just totally going
Just
off.
giving
It's
it
being someone else.
Right.
So you're just saying putting up healthy boundaries
Exactly.
with people.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. Some people may not like it, and again, that can go with age, maturity, all that good stuff. So some people may not like it, but I'm gonna say it feels good to know that with growth, you see things from a different perspective. Because the old me, I don't know. And then also it makes me think, I see a lot of posts on Facebook where they say, when I first met you, I thought you was you get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, if we would stick to how we were, would you give that B another chance? You get what I'm saying? Because if I was like that when you first met me, why are we friends now? So, I mean, you look at a lot of different things, a lot of different ways. I don't know, so it's good to know that first impressions is not last
And
impressions.
it depends on the person. Like I'm an introvert. Like so,
I am too.
I don't. When you first meet me, I'm gonna be
Reserved.
reserved. I'm gonna just listen and kind of see what y'all doing. I'm probably just gonna be quiet. And
I'm not. I'm giving it all to you right then. Then you can decide if you want to deal with me or not. But 9 times out of 10, I just like shooting it, just running my mouth. But other than that, I'm completely opposite. So,
I think I'm
So
quiet.
extrovert.
I think
Yes.
I'm pretty quiet.
You quiet too? I'd rather be that way. Why do you say that? Are you not
I
quiet,
will,
Chris?
unless I look like I know you, I learn you.
know you, yeah.
Especially just me being me, I have to be reserved and to see what people give me, and then I
Right.
go off of their energy.
and see, I like the opposite. I like to give them me just to see how they react.
Damn.
Because then they let me know if I can really rock with you or not.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So.
That's true,
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's just who you are. So
Right,
they
right.
can't
I
deal.
just let it up front. I'm not trying to meet with you all these different times and find out at the end you really can't deal with me. You know what I mean?
Right,
So-
right.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true. But I'm gonna ask your opinion on a question that I put on the Sip and Talk page. Do y'all believe in love at first sight?
I don't.
I don't either.
I mean,
we
I-
can't agree on everything. Like we can't.
I don't. I
I don't
mean,
either.
because I feel like when I first meet you, I don't know anything about you. Now, I can meet you and I can lust for you at first sight.
Okay.
But, you know, along getting to know you, I can grow to love you.
Right.
But just meeting you today, I may say I'm gonna love this man one day, but that doesn't mean that I love
Love
you.
you
I
now.
lust for you. Like,
Yeah.
I lust for the attraction I'm having with you now. But love you at first sight, you know.
I don't think it's possible.
It is.
How? You don't know this person.
I was just about to
I
say.
didn't know mine at the beginning. And it lasted 16 years.
But
But you didn't
but you
love
didn't
him in the
when you
beginning.
first
No, when I
him.
met him, it was like a feeling. I'm like, okay, this is out my ordinary.
You lust for him.
And no, it was just, it was.
What was it?
I don't know. I can't explain it. But I mean, the conversation and the way we met, it was different from everything else I've ever experienced. And no matter how hard I try to break loose and be like, what you thinking about, girl, it would always like a boomerang
Something
effect.
bring it
Yeah,
back.
bring it right back. So, I mean.
But it's still, that still don't mean it was love at first sight.
It depends on how you
Actually,
define
yes.
love, though.
So
yeah,
I,
everybody have a different definition of love.
And maybe that's why people have so many issues, because there's different definitions of love.
Right, it is.
Lord, y'all telling me
but
something
see,
I never.
I had one
never-
incident where I met, if I met someone on social media, never seen them before until 2 months later, just talking. 2 months later, you see each other the first time. Then I felt like physically this love at first sight.
Because y'all already communicated.
Right,
though.
right.
Y'all
But
done
just
know
meeting
that.
somebody,
Right.
I don't really see that happening. Like, just
Yeah, I
meet
know
Well,
someone.
it happened with me. I just
So
we
it
just met, and it was just like an attraction.
So maybe y'all met and y'all connected with each other.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
But
So
I mean,
that's-
it
but
just
that's
went on. It's
different.
deep. It's other stuff that happened along with it.
It wasn't love.
It wasn't sexual wise. We waited almost 6 months, so it wasn't that. It was just I don't know. It was just like a spiritual connection that we had with each other when we met.
But do you think it was love? Do you think it was love, or you think
Okay.
y'all connected and y'all just had a
I don't
cool
know
vibe?
what you want to call it.
She never trying to change the definition.
It was something. And I mean, like I said, my definition of love may not be your definition of love.
So what's
My
your
definition
Right,
of
I'm
love.
curious to that.
My definition of love is meaning that it's someone that you care for their well-being. I can love multiple people, but my love for him is different because I'm worried about what you're thinking about. I'm worried about you physically. I'm worried about you, period. Versus me meeting someone and saying, like a friend, an associate or whatever. I have love for them. I don't want to see them hurt or what have you, but it's completely different from the person that I'm with. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it, but I thought when y'all was saying the definitions of love is different, is like in a relationship, like, so my other half his definition of love can be something totally different from mine.
Exactly.
But how does that work?
But that's just like when we had the discussion about would you get married for love or stability or security. My definition of security and love is the same thing, but you got to show me that security. That's how I know you love me. And when it's not financial wise all the time, but I need to know that if I become disabled or I become handicapped, I need to know that you're there. You have my back.
Ooh, that's a big one too.
Yeah, but that's my definition.
Oh, you
of
make me
love.
nervous.
I'm
Man,
saying,
you walk away.
Oh Lord, wait a minute.
Right.
Right. All I'm saying is you have to think about now, like your partner totally
A vegetable or he just
vegetable. to tomorrow. You weren't expecting this. Tomorrow happens. What do you do?
But at the same time,
Do you stop everything? You get everything? Like what?
they can still do all of that. They can still take care of you. They can still wash you, bathe you, feed you, clothe you. But that still don't mean they have that love for you.
It takes love to take care of
Yeah.
somebody.
It does
It
take a
takes
lot.
a lot out of
But-
you.
I don't know. Sometimes people they owe it to
It's
you.
like a baby.
I'm telling you, sometimes people feel like
Oh,
I owe her this.
Yep.
They taking care of you, but at the same time, they got a whole relationship
Yeah.
over here.
But it's
But-
only gonna last.
but
I heard that on the radio.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. As a married person, you would
I think
think
marriage,
like,
yeah.
like this is my role. I'm supposed to do it.
supposed
Like,
to do
you
it,
can
but
get
it's
it
in
to
love.
it.
supposed to
Right.
do it.
But
Am I
after a
doing
certain
this
time,
because,
it isn't love anymore.
am I
Like,
doing this because I
that's
love
big.
you, or am I
That's
doing this
big
because
obligation.
because I feel like I owe you this?
Right.
You been my wife. You cook for me. You clean for me.
But it's
You
only
take
gonna
care of
last
my
for so long.
kids.
Mhm.
But what if you don't got that long?
I think that was a lot of if you being loving someone and being in love to me is totally
Totally
different. A
different,
lot of people
right.
say it's the same, but it's not.
It's
It's
not.
To
definitely
me,
not.
being in love with someone is like, to me, being in love is you don't know which one of y'all love the other one the most. I think for me that defines being in love versus
Right.
just love. You know,
I agree.
I think if you're in love with somebody, you're gonna do that just from the bottom of your heart.
Now,
And
what I would wonder is how the in love part stays now that you've gotten a
Yeah.
whole
Oh,
nother
right.
job. Pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah.
You got to
Right.
at this point, like, you already got whatever you got going on, your job, your children, house stuff, whatever.
Eventually,
And
it's gonna be
now
stressful.
you got a whole nother
responsibility
responsibility
that you
that you
couldn't
have to be
prepare for.
obligated for. You're not prepared. Like, how does that go? Like,
eventually you're broke.
I heard on the Breakfast Club, I think his wife, I can't remember what happened to her, but he ended up having to take care of her, and he moved a whole nother woman in. And you heard that?
Yeah.
And he's still taking care of her now, but
But he said the wife.
she's
told
okay
him
with that because she knows that she's a burden at this point. And she was still
was she
willing
in
to
her
take
right
care of her.
mind to say that? Was that prior to whatever happened? I don't even remember
That's
what
the case. Just put me in
illness
nursing
she
home.
had.
Please put me in
Nurse
nursing
home.
home. Matter of fact, if my daughter is old enough, she gonna make sure her mama's straight.
Right.
Well, you would hope so.
I
Kind of.
don't think I'll be okay with that.
You gonna be okay with that?
No, I
No,
it's
because now I feel like they're gonna be in the room laughing at me like,
First of all, where is her family that allowed that?
To allow that to happen.
exactly.
Where's
My
her
mama gonna
family?
be here like,
My mama would have been like,
Mm.
pack up, get my baby stuff together. We
But
out.
you know, you find different situations like that. One of my old teachers, his wife passed, and on her dying bed, her wish was for him to marry her best friend. And they did it. And they're still
Why?
together.
Because you know the best friend was gonna take care of
Take
him.
care of him,
He was.
probably. She would trust her.
But okay, that brings to another question. How did that best friend even bring herself to do it unless there was something there before?
Some had to be.
Some had to be there.
Exactly.
I'm not just gonna do it just because you want me to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Some things going on in that
I'm not
relationship.
just gonna marry
Sure.
you.
A little fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
They must have had a little bit going
No.
on.
Because there's no
He bought the
way.
darnest things.
There's no way I would suggest that. I can't. No. I can't see myself doing that. But that's something to think about now not before you get with someone, but if you see yourself caring about them and loving them, if something does happen to him, am I going to stick around? And I guess that's how you know if you really love someone.
I
I
think
can't say.
What?
I can't say that. I can't say that's how you know if you really love someone.
that.
What if you're truly like in love with someone, truly in love with someone, but tomorrow?
No, but what I'm saying is like, okay, we meet
Mhm.
and we months in, years in.
Mhm.
I feel like if I see us going there, well, I say months in. If I see us going there, I'm gonna be like, okay, if something happened to Savannah, am I going to be willing to still stick around, take care of her? And if your first answer is not yes, then I think you
But-
have an issue.
What if your first answer is yes, just like any other thing in
But you
life?
say you won't
And
know
then when
until
the
it
time
happens.
comes, yeah.
But Savannah, so let's say for instance, that a situation like that was to happen. Say you with somebody and you get sick, like really sick.
Mhm.
I personally feel like if that person backs out on you when you at your lowest,
Okay.
Lowest.
you don't deserve them when you're
Exactly.
at your highest.
Exactly.
That's true.
Because when I was on my deathbed or my lowest, You left me.
Exactly.
You didn't even try to
Yeah.
fight through it. It's one thing when I see you fighting to handle this and it's too much for you.
Right. Okay.
Then I get what you saying, like
Right.
I try my hardest
Right.
and it's too much for me. I need
Right.
help.
Right.
That's when you don't leave them high and
Right.
dry, but you like, okay, I can't do this by myself. I need help. You sit down with her family and y'all decide how y'all gonna do this.
Right.
Who gonna step up? Who gonna help me out? But if I'm on my low and you say to me or you don't say to me, you just walk away and leave me when I'm on my low. When I get back on my high, I don't want you. It's just like if if I lose my job tomorrow, God forbid, say I'm married and I lose my job tomorrow. If my husband feel like I can't do this no more, I'm not carrying this weight by myself because I'm at my low point. When I get my job back or I get another job, I get on my feet, I get where I'm able to do for myself, you might as well kick rocks because you wasn't there for me when I was going through something serious, something that was a drastic change to my life.
Yeah.
I don't need you no more.
Well, I experienced it firsthand. On a walker for 6 months, on a cane for 3. And he was there. We weren't on good terms. That's the shocking part about it. But he made sure I got to my doctor appointments. When I was bedridden or in the hospital, he made sure I sat there and I ate. He forced me to eat. But he was there. And that actually meant a lot. And it opened my eyes. And I'm like, okay, he didn't have to be. Because when it did happen, we weren't on good terms. But he still made it his business to come there. Yeah, to be there.
Do you think it made you like love him more?
It did, because I always had trust issues. So when he actually stepped up to it and I realized he wasn't leaving me and he was there, it actually made me have not only more love for him, but more respect for him.
Right.
And actually opened up a little door for a little bit more trust. Because now I see a different side of you.
I want to go back to something Sade was speaking of, you know, like when you're at your lowest and, you know, when you get to your highest. So are there red flags that a lot of us don't pay attention to when it could be something small? You get what I'm saying? That you might consider, I can consider my low, and it may not be a low to you guys. You get what I'm saying? But it's a low to me. And if I notice he didn't have my back at that, what he felt was a small low, should I take that and hold on to that and be like, okay, he's not going to have my back if something major happens. If it's something small that happened and he couldn't have my back. Is that fair?
No.
I think you should see the signs in the beginning, but you can't, like every little small thing, you can't just be like, oh no, he's not the one. But I think as women, where we often mess up at, is you see the signs in the beginning.
And ignore them.
And that you know this is not who I need to be talking to. I know that if I'm ever really in a bind, he's not somebody that I really can depend on. It could be something simple as in you working and you don't have nobody to pick your daughter up.
Right.
And he the only person that's free and he will, well, I can't do it, you know. I just don't have the time. Something simple as that.
That's what I was saying. Like
those are
simple.
small
Those are
signs that you ignore. Like, oh, let me find somebody to pick my child up. You may not even ask them, but if they know you working and you doing what you should, if he don't suggest to say, well, hey, I'm free at 4 o'clock, I'll pick her up. Especially if y'all have a relationship.
Right.
He's been around your child before. Oh, I'll pick her up where I need to drop off at. But if you have to ask him that, you know, initiate it, and he still can't do it, I feel like we often miss signs. Like, you know in advance. If you got a doctor's appointment, and it's an appointment where you got to go find out some big news.
Right.
And they're not saying what time the doctor's appointment is. All this is signs that you're ignoring.
Right.
So could you have the signs? So you see the signs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you give them a second chance? Like, communicate, hey, like so and so.
I think you
like,
should.
You know, this is what happened.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I think it's imperative that you vocally address it.
Because I think the communication, like the red signs and the communication, sometimes there's a breakdown in relationships because we're seeing all these things. Things are building up inside of us, but we're not communicating that to people. So it's not, they don't have a chance to change as well.
And once you do bring it up, more than likely you already here because you mad about it.
Because you waited to bring it up.
Clearly. and you probably think most people thinking, oh, okay, well, he gonna change this, or I was acting stank, so he might have looked past that. But more than likely, some people get to this point, and that's when it's like, all right, yeah, exactly. Like I'm mad now.
I think it all depends on the levels, because you could be in a relationship and y'all can be on 2 different levels. The love and the feelings that I have for you may be stronger than what you have for me. The same definition of I'm taking you to introduce you to my family don't mean the same thing to everybody.
Exactly.
Because they done took Brenda, Barbara, everybody missed the family.
Like if you raised on, old school or whatever, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
But some people now it's not.
Right.
So that is
miscommunication.
And if you don't open your mouth to actually ask these questions from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be you'll misinterpret actions and everything from the beginning. So I think you need to just have a conversation from the upfront.
I agree, and when you were saying about communication, but I mean, is there like a time? I'm not gonna say a time frame, but okay, I communicated with you this month. I shouldn't have to do it next month, but you do the same. Like where does that stop? Or I mean, do you give up on a relationship so fast just because you've communicated this once, twice, 3 times? If you don't give it up, let's say you don't give up the relationship because you see these red flags, but then now I'm in 10 years later and I'm still going through the same thing. So it's like you don't know.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you in a situation to where you feel like your person is not there for you, or they're not supporting you, or it might be a dream that you have. You might want to do something work-wise and they're not supporting your dream. So you walk away from that situation and you're not supporting me, I'm leaving you. Let's say a year from now, the person realizes or decides, you know what, Sade was the best thing that happened to me, and nobody not gonna love me the way Sade loves me. Is it okay for me to give you a second chance?
I think so.
To prove that all along I really support your dream? I think that you should.
I think so too.
Because nobody's perfect, and if y'all meant to be.
So I want to know y'all take on this. So how do y'all feel in acrimony as far as Taraji wanting to be vengeful? She wants.
I did not agree with that movie. I don't like the movie. You didn't see Acrimony? We're gonna have to have a girls' night. We're gonna have to watch that.
Sorry.
I didn't agree. I didn't like the way she handled the situation.
I think he did his best. I don't agree on the way she handled. Now, I would be hurt because all those years that I put in, and then you turn around and gave her everything
that you said
and I help you work towards. I would be hurt. But the part that did settle it out some, he didn't forget about her. He did. He did take care of Exactly. Now that's the only thing that if he did not, I would have an issue. But by him volunteering, then that makes it different. But then going back, you have to look at that person's past too, because every woman don't
bring up something else.
Requirements. Every woman don't have the same requirements.
That's true.
So that's true. You just have to let them know what you
up front. That's the interview process.
So it's communication, but a lot of people don't do it.
No, a lot of people don't know how.
I'll wait. Okay, I'm gonna see if he do it. I'm gonna see. You don't do it next one.
And that's where you making your mistake.
And that's where I make my mistake. I know.
Yeah.
But I've been learning to because a lot of times what we do is something may bother us about a guy, and instead of us telling them it bothered you, you have an attitude, or you act different, or you shut down.
Shut down and call my friend, girl.
You might get on the phone and talk to somebody else about it. But what I've learned is if something makes you feel uncomfortable, no matter how it may, even if the person feel like you tripping or you making a big deal out of nothing, you have to be able to say, hey, what you did yesterday made me feel uncomfortable. I don't like the fact that you did A, B, and C. And they tell you their opinion on it, and either you're going to move forward from it or you're going to stop right there.
Now, I found the easiest way for my other half of myself to communicate when it comes to certain things that's kind of unpleasant or you feel uncomfortable with face to face is through text.
I don't like
that.
That could be
misconstrued.
Oh my God.
No. Like, for instance, if he does something I don't like or says something I don't like, I'll be like, you know what? And I'll put in that text. I did not appreciate this or whatever, and I'm texting you to give you time to think about what have you, give us time to cool down. Because versus if I bring it to you, and I'm already feeling some type of way, and I bring it to you face to face, I know it's gonna be an argument.
Some people verbalize better.
But when I text and he read it, he got time to read that text and go through different scenarios in his head or what have you, or how it could have been different or whatever, and he'll call me. I'll wait for him to call me, or he'll come to the house and we'll have that conversation. Versus me just lashing out and then putting him on the spot. Because one thing I do find, he will get defensive.
Yeah.
And then that's a quick argument.
You want to
I
say something,
think
Chris?
I could try to do that myself, but I'm afraid like a statement, something as simple as, you know, I was kind of pissed about
And all about how you word it.
I also think exclamation points make a difference.
Oh,
Because instead of putting one, I'm like
Capitalization,
four.
yeah.
And that's what it's gonna be.
That's where it's going. He got
I'm putting
So
four
you
exclamation
capital
points.
letters.
Yeah. I'm that person.
So the other, I'm gonna say this for myself. So the other day, my friend did something that I didn't like. So I typed up this whole message, and I was just like, I don't want to talk to you no more. I just
Don't
don't
text me back.
appreciate that. I feel like we're going in the wrong direction. And it was something so simple.
Oh, God.
It was kind of simple, but I made a big deal. I ain't gonna say it was simple, but I made a big deal out of it, and I didn't send a message. So I waited. I deleted the whole message, and I said, when we see each other again, I want to have a face-to-face conversation with you. So when we got face-to-face, he was like, what you want to talk about? So I told him that it made me feel uncomfortable. I was like, it just made me feel like it's more to it. And then they explained to me, no, it wasn't that. Basically, I'm just saying what it was. So it was a gift brought for the mom from the son for Christmas. And they was like, it was just to show my appreciation. Like, she's a good mother, and I can't take that from her. You know, yeah, it may have made you feel some type of way, but it's nothing. It was just a gift, and I put from Noah.
You had an issue with it.
I didn't even have an issue with it. My thing is,
So
let me say,
her friend bought the baby mama
I didn't
a
have
gift from the son.
But let me say, I didn't have an issue with it. But this is the thing. Don't tag me in this live, okay? Don't tag me in this live. But I didn't have an issue with it.
Okay.
My thing was, I didn't even ask because that would have made it worse. I feel like if she still has a soft spot for you, and you're backing away, you just want to be strictly parents.
No, I think mine's always.
But let me finish. If I still like my daughter's dad, if he still like me, right? Still want to be with me, and he's like, "Shawty, what you want for Christmas?" I'm like, I don't want anything because at the end of the day, I know that you still want me, and if I'm accepting gifts from you, then you giving him some hope. Signals. I'm giving you hope.
But
So what I said to him was, after he explained it, I was like, I'm not mad, I get it, I understand. But what I was trying to tell him is, every now and then, as a woman, if you giving me gifts and you showing me
Gifts from the baby, that's just how they are as a family, I'm assuming.
But I get it. You get it.
you projecting, Shawty.
So has he done that?
His girlfriend and his wife a gift too.
So has he done that previously? Is it something else previous?
That was
making
one gift. It was
But
a big deal.
no, they said the same thing. They explained what they kept saying was, prior to Christmas, they talked about how when you keep telling somebody that you done and they not understanding it, what can I do about it, Shawty? What can I do about it? Like, what you want me to do? I've explained over and over that I'm moving on. And what I said to them was, when you're moving on,
You move on.
you move on, and you have to switch up your routine until they understand it.
Well, I must say I asked for my husband, I don't want to say estranged husband, I don't know what you would call it, but I asked, I was like, dog, should I buy him something? Should I buy him something for his birthday for the kids? You know, from the kids?
But
should I do that? No, but I didn't do it. I felt like, nah.
if he still wants you,
I get up my nerves.
if estranged husband.
I don't know what you call it.
If he still has a
Thing for
tad
me?
bit of hope that y'all might reconcile.
I get exactly where you're coming from. I get it.
get
I get
It's
it.
all mine. We weren't
But it's
together.
the
I was
kids.
with
I
somebody
get it.
else.
Depending
I'm
on
a
what
kid.
It's from the
gift
kids.
is, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Throw down
Yeah.
some diamonds or
Yeah.
something.
Right,
You got
yeah.
something.
If you buying him a Rolex, that's different
But
from a
that's-
60-inch
but-
TV.
yeah.
I'm not even a TV. I'm thinking appropriate.
No.
Really?
No,
No.
you don't
No.
Unless he's
No.
gonna get that child.
No. Yeah. You can take you in Dollar Tree. You can pick out a little
Okay,
something.
not even a 32 inch.
No. You ain't get no electronics, no jewelry.
From the kids?
No,
No.
listen.
And you live and
That
you
you
got
got
Target dollar section.
This was a gift that
Like a
you
card and then
passed
$10.
somebody.
Thank
Ordered.
you.
Oh.
I said, he said no.
Was it delivered to the house?
He got somebody to order it.
Sounds to
for
me
the
like you're
person.
giving mixed signals.
That's the same thing I tried to explain.
Lord,
You
I don't
giving
think
mixed
so.
So what do you, but you don't know the gifts.
I don't want to know
Okay.
because if I know the
Because
gift,
it'll get worse.
it's over with after you tell me what you brought.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's one thing if you took what I told him was it's one thing if your son came to you and said, "Daddy, I want to get my mom."
child is.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is the child?
He 5, but he not your average 5.
Okay, so I think it's
So,
okay.
listen.
I think it's okay.
So, Daddy, I want to get my mama something for Christmas, and you say, "Okay, we gonna go to the store and you pick out what you want to buy her." But you just saying that. I mean, I just brought her a gift, like just to show appreciation. Like,
Okay, I'm gonna ask
Your
you.
mama.
She is raising a child. I mean,
I get it, but at the end of the day, when you know she still got feelings for you, you have to step back. And,
Okay, let me
Okay,
ask you
hold on.
something. And I normally do house rules. I didn't even do it. One of them was if you insert yourself in a situation, we can ask you a question.
you can ask.
Okay, so how long have you and your guy been together?
We're not together.
Okay, so that leads to my question. what I was going to ask is, and I'm not saying this by far because I don't know him, I don't know, but do you feel that because he don't know where it may go with you guys or if it's going to work, I'm gonna keep a little hope over here,
But-
just to,
and
in
that's
case
what-
it don't work out, I still got
But
this
see,
over here.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm in my mind. I'm feeling like, is this a red flag?
Oh,
No.
no, that's not,
So,
no.
so quick question.
It's
So,
not a red flag.
who brung up the present thing?
How'd
Who
you even
did
know
they
there was a
say,
present?
hey, by the way, I bought my baby?
No,
What happened?
what he asked me, he was like, "Did you have a good Christmas? Did you get everything you wanted for Christmas?" And I was like, "Kylie got everything she wanted for Christmas,"
Mhm.
and he was like, "What all you got?" And I was like, "What you brought me? You know, that's what I
Right.
got." And I said, "What all you got?" And he started naming the stuff that he brought.
Did
And
she
I
buy
was-
him some?
Yeah.
Ugh.
He started naming the stuff that he brought, so I said, "Who brought it?"
She brought
Okay,
him
so
more
she
than
brought
one
him
thing.
something.
He said he
From the
got.
son or from her?
From her.
He said he got a polo.
Oh,
sweater.
no.
Oh.
Oh, no. Wait, get
Oh, that was our time. Yeah,
He got
that.
He got a polo sweater and something else, and he said this would a whole conversation went left. He said his mother-in-law. I said mother-in-law.
Oh, whoa.
He said, he was like, "No, grandma. Please don't tag me in this live." He was like,
I'm
I
not
just
tagging
said
anybody.
mother-in-law because you don't know her, and if I said grandma, you would have thought my mama brought it. And I said mother-in-law, and he was like, "I didn't mean it like that." He was like,
He
and
didn't used to
then
call
he
her.
said, he was like, this is new to me, like, you know, like, this
I
is
agree.
new to me, Sade. He was like, but I didn't, he was like, it was just to show my appreciation. He was like, it was nothing
It's
more
new,
to
it's
it. He
fresh.
was like,
It's not a red flag.
Yeah.
What?
Like, my
What's
head
that?
quietly being raised here.
it all goes back to y'all need to have a conversation.
Yep.
Because
Communication.
it sounds like y'all on different levels.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need
Right.
to have that conversation to find out if y'all to make sure that y'all seeing eye to eye and one of y'all are not expecting more out of the other.
Mm.
and that's what I told him. I said, if you still talk, you know, if y'all still got a thing for each other,
Let me know.
I'm okay with that. We still fresh. I can back away from this and protect my feelings. He like, it ain't even that. It was just a gift. He was like, it's
I really
not.
think from his
change it
point of
up.
view, it was just a gift.
But change the way you come at him with it. and just ask, you know what, we've been together such and such long, we get along perfectly fine. Where do you see us next year this time? Or do you think we're going to end up together? Or, I mean, I just want to know, what do you like about me? What do you see in me? Can you see yourself with me? I mean,
we kind of had a
Yes.
conversation, and he was like, basically, he was like, I like a lot of stuff about you. You take care of your daughter, you work, you a good mother. He was like, I can see us going places. He was like, for me, he was like, I don't put titles on things. He was like, I let it go, I kind of just go with, go with the flow.
I'm scared of that.
Like,
I'm scared of that.
As we become more, he was like, I'm okay with it. He was like,
become more.
he was like, but I just don't want to complicate it and things go bad. He was like, because the last, I guess, put a title on it, and
No,
he
but
was
you're a
like,
different person.
it went wrong. And I
So
told
me,
him,
that title thing
you
is
gotta
kind of
set
like you don't want a
boundaries at
title
some
because
point.
you're
wanna be free, you don't know where you
That's
wanna
just
be
how
right
I
I
see it.
told him, I said, we still fresh, so that's fine.
Just put him in the
But
free
at some
category
point,
and let it go from
we
there.
would have to set boundaries. If you wanted
But you're not in a
me to
relationship, y'all just
exclusively
friends.
talk to you.
But see, that's how men are. They want you to be strictly
Yeah.
with him. Don't
How you
date,
gonna
don't do
be
anything.
exclusive
But
if you
yet,
don't have a relationship?
That's
It's
it.
just
But that's
friendship.
what
I mean, you can put boundaries on it. Like if you decide to go have sex with somebody, you need to let me know. Or you don't have to let me know, but make sure that you always use protection. Or make sure that you don't mention that person, or I don't want to know anything about it. Regardless of however you decide to put these boundaries in place, y'all need to have some boundaries. So you'll know that, okay, I'm saving myself, I'm not dealing with anybody else, I'm not talking to anybody else when he's out there talking to several different people.
Right.
Chris, what you gonna say?
How do y'all feel about this? I know a couple. The girl felt like she told her dude, like, I'm okay with you stepping out on me, but you can't mess with people who know me. I don't want people to know what.
Then they're not in a relationship, right?
Yeah, they have an open relationship. Who is she dealing with?
Got to
But-
be somebody. Cause how can you?
The thing is, I think that's fine. Again, as long as both people agree upon it.
Then what's
Go
the
with it.
purpose
Go
of
wild.
us?
Yeah,
maybe
if you want to talk to other
Right. I was
Okay, as long as I got a reason. Maybe it's financial
But
reasons.
Sometimes
if
some
both
people
people
just want to give that spunk.
No.
I mean,
If you want to talk to me, don't talk. If you want to talk to
And that's your
Don't
decision.
talk to
And
me.
hey,
yeah, but some people
As long
are
as y'all got
actual
that.
swingers.
You just had this conversation.
People are swingers. Hell, me and CJ were swingers, but we're not. But I mean,
It all depends on.
I'm too jealous for that.
it all depends on
I'm too
the
jealous
person.
for that.
You just don't want to open Pandora's box to something like that. If you
But
really,
you already know what you're facing. It's a possibility
But if
that
you
you might
open
find
up that
somebody
box,
else that might be like, whoa.
Well,
You
yeah.
already know that.
And
And then what happens? What if that
You
happens?
feel
And
You
then
just have
they
to
meet.
face it when it happens.
And then
But they do have ground rules.
Yeah.
they're on the
You
same
can't,
page.
I have to pick the woman out for you. Y'all can't be by yourself. You can't see this woman without me. I
Right.
mean, they have.
Then he gazed in her eyes, and I'm feeling some type of, you don't look at me like that. You don't moan like that to me. No.
But it's vice versa. Maybe the man is sitting up there looking at you up and down, and he feeling some type of way. But if you know you, that's not.
Is that love? Like, could you be in love with someone and allow them
Well, it's
to
the same way as being married and going to cheat.
I was about to
The
say
other
that.
person
I
don't
think
mean
that
anything
marriage,
to you. You
yeah.
just want that luscious.
Don't feel
Sometimes
my
you just
face.
want to feel.
when people agree to do that, it's because they don't want to feel like they're being played, or if you know you dealing with a man and
They want to catch it
you
early? Is that what you're saying?
No, if you dealing with a man and you know this
Like,
man,
I know you're going to cheat, so go ahead.
I know you gonna cheat, so you gonna have to include me. I think that's why women have threesomes.
No.
Because
Sometimes.
I really feel like I
just
think
to keep her man?
I think most women
To make a man happy,
have
that's what he
threesomes,
wants.
they only do it because they want to make their man happy, and they don't want their man
Am I not
to step
enough?
out without them.
Not all the time, because you do have some women that
Some
have
freaky
some-
women.
Well, they just like
They
it.
said
They might
Tiny
turn them
T.I.
on.
do it. She probably do it because she don't want T.I. to cheat on her.
Well, T.I.
He
staying.
gonna cheat.
He's staying, but he's staying for sure.
She's staying, but at the same
He's
time,
staying for sure.
I think
Oh,
that's why women have threesomes.
Not
They-
all women.
Not all.
That's
Some
in general.
some women
Some
just
women
like
actually
women.
turns them on.
They just like women, but
I would feel like, okay, we done had this threesome. Is he gonna creep back over there here? Is that there can be no communication?
But see, the thing is, you gotta go out the country and do that now. You
of him, y'all having a threesome and you open it up and y'all having that open communication where y'all can talk about it versus you being left in the dark and he's going out to sleep.
Because I know it is my decision to stay and accept it.
You feel like at least I'm included in this. So
does this sound crazy that if I said I would be okay with you stepping out, but you can't fall in love, like you can't stop loving? Because how you can't tell that person like you go on to mess with this girl, blah blah. What if he fall in love with her? What if he start loving her more than loving you?
Well, I hate to do this to you guys, but we're at the last 15 seconds. And normally how it goes, we end up having a part 2 because what you said looked like it was getting juicy. So if y'all would like to, have a part 2 and talk about what we were talking about, what we were leading to, that'd be great. We would love to do this. What we do though is pull. Did anybody have anything they wanted to put in here, or we're gonna pull and have a quick powwow about whatever I pull out? So are y'all good with a part 2?
Yeah.
A couple weeks? Okay.
You heard sure?
You know what we're talking about here. So.
Yeah.
Are you okay with where? You hear where this is going? Threesomes and everything. Okay. All right. And speaking of threesomes, why does women use sex as punishment?
Ooh, good.
I don't.
I ain't gonna use it as
That's
punishment because you can go get it
go
from
out
the next
there.
person.
There you go.
Listen.
we can do it.
Look at you. You sex as punishment. Why you holding it like this? Savannah, who do you use sex as punishment?
No. Well, are you saying if I'm upset, that means I
Oh,
don't
God,
want to do
put it in
it?
here. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't come home until
Yes,
whatever time. We're not having sex.
No. I don't say, oh, you didn't come home, so we're not going to do it. I just say what I say, and then I go about my business.
How long is he on punishment for?
It's not per se a punishment. It's not a punishment, but until we resolve it. Like until we resolve it, or if I just really want it, so it's one or the other.
But if y'all resolve it for like a
if
week.
I really want it, or until it's resolved.
What if y'all resolve it for like a week, Savannah? You're not giving this man up for a week?
I go do what I got to do, and then you still go sleep on the couch.
Thank you.
And somebody said this to me, and it really sunk to me. They was like, if you're in a relationship with me, no matter how mad we are, you can never deny me sex. That's
Whoa.
number one. You can't.
No, I was doing this.
I think it's when you start making rules like that, then I can make rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that rule making is not.
I know, because you're not, first off, you're not going to have the excuse why I step out because you had me on punishment.
And I feel like that's what it
was. 3 days later.
Who?
The guy.
I'm not denying him anything.
I'll
give it to him, do whatever I got to do, but you go sleep on the couch, so I go sleep on the couch.
So let me ask you this, because I'm not denying him, sex, he feels like, oh, she fine, it was okay.
No, I'm still not talking to you.
Still gonna know.
I'm still not talking to you.
Still gonna know that it's a negative vibe.
I don't have to talk to you.
That don't mean
and see, and that too, that's how it leads us time too. If you still go ahead and do it, they'll think, oh, everything's fine.
No.
It's
different.
for men.
It's
For men, that is a solution.
But it's
Exactly.
different.
That's fine afterwards. Like, oh, everything's good.
I don't know. Everybody is different, but it's different because me personally, you can get up there and handle your business, and then as soon as you handle yours, I get up and I leave.
But I think dudes be like, I'm gonna go ahead and give her some of this good.
It should be
Right,
alright.
it should be alright.
I know when you're not
but it's true here.
Because I don't wait for him to actually get to that point or whatever. I handle my business or whatever, give him a little taste and handle my business, and I leave. And he feels some type of way.
Well, whoever put that in from one of the previous panels, no, we should not, use sex as a punishment, but some of us do. So
You should definitely not.
you should not. But we thank everyone for tuning in. It looks like this is going to be a part 2, talking about threesomes and such. So y'all tune in and see if that should happen. We hate to be so, out there, but it is a live discussion, raw and uncut. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, peace. Savannah, thanks for hosting this for me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Hate to get up and cut it off. Normally somebody does this, but toodles.